Dex, you had actually something you
gosh.
wanted to share a tweet with us here, right?
Yeah, this is from our friend Chad Graff at The Athletic. I'm pretty sure you guys can see this on the screen, but it says Kirk Cousins on that final drive that Mike Zimmer said was, quote, chaos. Cousins, I'll have to go back and watch the film. You'll have to ask coach specifically what he meant.
Come on,
Classic, dude.
Dude, you know what? Okay. No, Judd, you go first. You
go ahead, man.
Okay. This is the problem here. So Zim, instead of saying flat out, and this would have been completely fair, our quarterback could have played a better game, does not say that because he knows that Cousins can't take that. He then says the offense was chaos, to which Cousins can't take that and responds with that quote. Think about that. Think about being, look, this just kills me. Bruce Arians, after game one with Tom bleeping Brady, right, basically called Brady out, and rightfully so. He made a few bad plays. Arians broke those plays down and questioned a quarterback who was going to walk into Canton. I think behind the scenes, Brady didn't like it, but publicly, I don't think he did a damn thing, right? This guy can't handle Zimmer literally putting on, and he's been doing this for 3 years now, his kid gloves to handle his quarterback.
Dude.
Like this is the type of stuff that if you're a Vikings fan should be a huge red flag and should drive you crazy.
This is a clown quote by the quarterback. And again, I wasn't in the room for this. I'm sure there's some context here that I am missing.
It's a Zoom call, Phil.
But let's go through a couple of different important things that we do know to be factual. Number one, the last drive of the game, regardless of the pie chart of blame, was a chaotic clown show. Okay, so is anybody, the three of us, anybody in the comment section here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I think we can all agree, whether it was 100% Kirk's fault or 0% Kirk's fault, the last drive of the game was a disaster, right? So that's the first thing.
Correct. Yeah.
Second thing, the coach, rightfully so, is pissed about it. Calls a spade in the post game. He's honest with the media. He's honest with the fans and says, yeah, like we've got veterans back on offense. Like, why is it a clown show? And by the way, when he says we've got all of our veterans, like the lead veteran is the quarterback in that situation. Okay. And so if you're the quarterback, I'm going to read this quote again. I'll have to go back and watch the film. You'll have to ask coach specifically what he meant by chaos. Okay. The correct answer in that spot is, yeah, you know what? The coach is right. Without even looking at the film, I agree. It was chaos, and that's on me, period. Even if it's not on you 100%, be a freaking leader, take responsibility for the chaos on the last drive, and own it like the franchise quarterback that you're at least pretending to be.
Yeah.
God.
It's very on brand for Kirk Cousins to just say that it's the same one every week. I'll have to go back and watch the film. And just for once, like take ownership over something that was difficult, man. It's okay to just to say that I messed this up. Matt Ryan today, even like I'm seeing tweets that say, so like, yeah, I think there was a costly interception that led to that epic collapse. And he said, yeah, it was a bad throw by me. Like he just admits like, yeah, it was a bad throw. I screwed up. It wasn't, I'll have to see if the receiver ran the wrong route. Was it the right read? Was it the wrong call? He just straight up says, yeah, I screwed up there. And it was a poor throw. Like, why can't Kirk Cousins also still have that mental fortitude?
God, like the first quality I want out of a franchise quarterback or any quarterback is just a guy who's I'm going to get us in trouble. A guy who's a leader.
Yeah.
A guy who takes responsibility, even if it's not his fault. And a guy that doesn't freak out when things aren't perfect around him. Like I am like, and by the way, like he was well on his way, even with that near pick six that he gave away at the start of the second half. He was well on his way to a redemption game. And you start to look at, you know, him finding Justin Jefferson and helping Justin Jefferson blossom and have his first NFL explosion. Like I was ready to sit here after this game and say, yeah, Kirk deserves some credit, man. Like kind of called it. He always bounces back after bad games, but then for them to look like that on that last drive, and it doesn't take like blaming Kirk Cousins for the chaos on that last drive doesn't then like take blame off the defense for allowing 30 plus points. Like there's blame to go around here, but just own it, man. Once in your life.
Just once, for God's sakes, please own it. I feel you. I need more seltzers. I need more Corona hard seltzers. I can tell you that much.
All right. Well, and Judd, by the way, Judd has lost a little bit of connectivity here. And so I would just say, and just to put a bow on this episode, Justin Jefferson's a bona fide star.
Yeah.
And you never have to give that back. Like, that wasn't a fluke game today. That was a legitimate breakout star performance today, and it's awesome. Kirk Cousins is who he is. This defense has too many holes and too many young players and too many injuries to be anywhere near as dominant as we've seen. And so the Vikings are going to be holding on for dear life defensively probably the entire season. And at this point, 0-3 should not scare you. Embrace the tank.
Embrace it.
You're going to be happen.
You're going to be 0-6. And what's going to happen when the Falcons and Vikings come together? I mean, like, who is going to have the more epic tank job between the Vikings and the Falcons when they meet here in a few weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Peter, real quick, I'm going to throw this on the screen here too. I don't know if Judd's back with us yet or not, but Peter says, is Kirk admitting he was wrong going to change the game outcome? Well, a couple things. Probably not. It's probably not going to change the outcome. But when you talk about chemistry and you talk about cohesion and you just talk about the dynamic that's needed behind the scenes for everyone to be at their best, it doesn't help when the guy that's paid the most money and the guy that has the most responsibility on his shoulders has sort of a, well, it's not my fault mindset. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not the mindset that I want. I want a guy that's like actively looking to take the bullet in that situation and looking to make a mistake, which, I'll bring it up again. Today is the 11-year anniversary of Brett Favre finding Greg Lewis in the back of the end zone for a game-winning touchdown against the San Francisco 49ers, okay? Now, did protection kind of break down on that play? Yeah, go back and watch that play. Like, protection wasn't that good on that play. And Brett Favre had to move around some defenders to find a spot to unleash a throw down the field. And, like, he's only thinking about, now, sometimes to the detriment of Brett Favre teams, as we saw later that season, he's only thinking about making a play in a big spot. So,
Judd, I think we got you back. Got us now?
Judd, can you hear us now?
He's waving goodbye, I think.
Okay.
But
goodbye, Judd. Bye, Judd.
we do have Tom, our buddy Tom Roller, who has entered the stream here. Let's get one last call in from Tom. Tom, what's going on, man? It's his birthday, I believe, too.
Hey guys, 37 today. Sorry, big game going on in the bar here.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Step outside. Thank you, guys. I mean, I've been as hard on Kirk as anyone, but there's no reason that a team should score 30 points and not be able to win a game at home.
Yeah, I totally agree. And by the way, we just lost connection with Tom there too. So,
hey,
all right,
sorry, the defense was awful late. It was just terrible. So yeah, and I can't even get my face into focus right now because I'm doing some birthday celebrating.
Love it, man.
Well, the Vikings gave you a great birthday present with Justin Jefferson going off for $1.75.
Yeah,
so
I mean, 11 years ago, Favre to I can't even remember his name.
Greg Lewis.
Thank you. 11 years ago, that was my birthday present. This is my birthday present today. So I guess I was better at 26 than I am at 37. Well, anyways, Tom, I'm sorry to bug you guys.
No, dude, this is great. We appreciate you coming on and make sure that as the season progresses here that you jump on again with us. All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
See you guys soon.
That's Tom from Columbia Heights on Vikings Vent Line. Exhale. Dex, I think we're going to call it a wrap here.
You got it.
On this episode.
Probably a good idea.
Of Vent Line. And again, we do this every single game. If they finish 0-16, then Judd's back for some final words here.
Judley?
If they finish 0-16, we're going to give you 16 of these therapy sessions. Judd, we're just wrapping this episode. So any final thoughts from you as we say goodbye to the Minnesota Vikings in week 3?
I think if you're going to choose to tip a Corona Seltzer tonight to a loss or win in your mind, this is a win. I think that this was, I think that Declan can look the first 2 games. You know what? You drank because it stunk, right? I think tonight you're celebrating Justin Jefferson, young cornerbacks, some who can play, some who can't. I do think that this it's going to be intriguing, and I don't know if there's going to be much from it, but I do think there could be a juicy storyline here between the head coach and the quarterback as well. Yeah. The quarterback, look, guys, if they're going to win 5 or 6 games or less, the quarterback's going to have to learn to take it. You can't get upset when you lead a train wreck for a last drive. You can't get upset when it's called a train wreck. And by the way, you weren't personally called out. Like the whole thing was. But I do think that we are officially at least not on warning yet. I think we're on Gary Kubiak watch. I think conditions are right for coordinator change.
Dude, can you imagine, like, I would love to be a fly on the wall for how this plays out passively aggressively at the Vikings practice facility. Can you imagine being Kirk Cousins and walking up to Mike Zimmer at some point during the week of practice and saying, hey, Hey, the media told me that you mentioned that that final draft that the final drive was chaos and that we had all of our veterans out there and it was just a chaotic disaster. What did you mean by that, Coach? I want to know Mike Zimmer's response. Like
His
looking
real
Kirk,
response.
looking Kirk,
oh yeah,
looking Kirk in the eye and saying, "You're a disaster. You need to not be in 4th and 26. I don't care how it happens. Like I don't care that things aren't perfect. It can't result in a 4th and 26 Hail Mary in that spot. So figure it out and go away."
I guarantee you that during his Zoom press conference tomorrow, Zim will be asked about Cousins' response to his quote, and I guarantee you that Mike will walk it back or will not add fuel to the fire. And I guarantee you that is a major problem of how Cousins is fundamentally hardwired. Like he shouldn't have to do that. Mike should not, and Mike can be blunt at times, and he's probably too blunt for his own good. But this is one thing where if you literally have to walk back what you said, go back to Case. Think about all the stuff he said about Keenum in 2017. And he doubled down. And guess who didn't react? Keenum. Keenum was always fine with it. And I'm not saying that physically Keenum is a better quarterback than Cousins, because I don't believe that. But when you are so brittle that you can't, the reason why you can't handle that last drive is why you also can't handle even sort of roundabout criticism. And it's very roundabout because it's not just about you, but you can't handle that from your head coach.
Yes.
That's really problematic. That's disturbing.
Swim in it, own it, swim in it, be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
If you're Cousins, why wouldn't you say Mike was exactly right?
Mm-hmm. And by the way, it's not about like what he says. It's like, and no, like actually be okay with Mike Zimmer saying that because it's true, and just get to the truth. Just get to the truth. What's the truth? It was a chaotic disaster, just like Mike Zimmer said. How do you fix it? Okay, I don't know, be a better leader. Don't freak out. Like,
yeah, I'm with you.